Hey YouTube, what goes on? And welcome back to Disavowed Action Figures for another live at 7:06:40, whatever time of day it is, right? I'm going live. I kind of got away from the same time, same day of the week, but we are on the same day of the week we typically were on in the past. I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas, a happy holiday season. We're right in the middle of it right now. New Year's right around the corner. 2024 is knocking on the friggin' door, ready to bust right through. And here we are reflecting on the year that was in toy collecting. So I will be doing some top 10 videos coming up. Keep an eye out for those. So I will be doing top 10 Marvel Legends, top 10 figures of the year, so on and so forth. However, I thought it'd be a fun little topic tonight to break down the best bargain toy stores of 2023. Yes, if you watch my channel or other toy hunt videos, or you're just a collector in general, you know 2023 was freaking insane for bargain toy hunting and collectibles. Oh my gosh, oh my goodness, the things we found, the things we saw, the things we missed out and didn't get are probably the ones that bother us the most, right? So that bothers me the most, at least. I was on Ross one last time today. Spartan Toy Collector gave me a shout and said some new stuff showed up. I went. There are a couple things still out, but I think for the most part, it's safe to say that the Ollies, the Ross, the Marshalls, all those bargain stores are pretty much done for the year, unfortunately, until maybe like April of 2024. So I thought it'd be a great time tonight to reflect on it. I made a little professional Google slide we'll go through and actually discuss what our finds were for the year. Again, all of you collect just like I do. It's why you're watching. A lot of you have watched my content and seen the things I have found. So between myself and all of you here in the live stream and people on the rewatch, please let me know in the comments after the video is over. Let me know your craziest find or your biggest regret in not finding a toy was this year. And also at the end of the video, and also in the comments, debate this. Let me know what's your top 5 bargain stores. Now, that does mean I have to have a couple rules for this video. Okay, there are some rules. What are the rules? We'll discuss them, okay? So we get the expectations set. Before we get to that, let's say hello to people who are in the chat live. Lucas, what goes on, sir? How you doing, man? Happy holidays. Soon to be happy new year, man. Eric, what's going on, Eric? How you doing, man? I had a great Christmas. Hope you did too. Thank you, sir. It was wonderful. It lasted till pretty much yesterday. We do like my Christmas Eve thing we do with A-Tizzle's side of the family. Christmas Day is my side of the family. And then yesterday was Relaxmas, which is the day where A-Tizzle and I exchange our gifts, do our Christmas thing together as a couple, and just relax. A lot of running around associated with the holiday season. So yesterday was Relaxmas. We exchanged some gifts. I got some awesome ones. So thank you to her. We'll talk more about that potentially later on or in a future video. Four Feathers, what's going on, man? How you doing, sir? Crazy find Four Feathers on those Killer Clowns from Outer Space trading cards today. I'm gonna go to GameStop tomorrow and check it out and kind of see what they're like, and maybe A-Tizzle will get a late stocking stuffer out of me. Jerry, what's going on, Jerry? How you doing, man? What's up? Dropped by my Ross today. Found Killer Croc and a VHS Jean Grey. Nice. Again, like for the most part, it's all packed up. But I feel like if they get something in, they're not just going to like not put it out, right? So I'm hoping that there are some stores, especially here in the East Coast, that didn't get things that the West Coast collectors were seeing as of yet, and they still might put it out for us. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm personally done checking like constantly. Like anytime I've gone up for a toy hunt, I've gone to at least a Ross, if not multiple. Now I'm kind of just done with it. I have to be. I was actually making special trips a lot of times, which I always say I won't do for my toy hunts because it's counterproductive to kind of go out of your way to go one place. I try to have a system to what I'm doing on my toy hunts. So I was kind of going out of that system with the Ross stuff because I was so scared what I'd miss, fear of missing out, right? Four Feathers, agreed, man. Hopefully everybody had a good Christmas, man. You and your family as well. Lucas added as well. I do my best to never pay full price and never pay price at all. I won't tell. Don't worry, man. Yeah, it really showed us this year, and there's a lot of reflection going on out there in the community regarding the whole idea now of how long you play that game for, how long you played all the waiting game, the long game, so to speak. You guys know I love long game. It's my shtick. I still buy things new. In fact, I for prosperity purposes, put this in the next video. I bought a J. Joe at full price. I've gotten away. I still bought things at full price this year, but I wanted to pick up Ripper. I really like that Jaws of Life. I got this at Target, $24.99 plus tax. I think this is probably a top 10 figure of the year candidate. I'm gonna do my list pretty soon. My video will be here on the channel probably next week for G.I. Joe. So I wanted that because I did not want to not have it in order to have it in the top 10. Because my rule of my top 10s are I have to have in my collection in order to count it, right? All right, so let's go right to the T here, right to the brass tacks. I'm not going to screw around too long here. So basically, as I said, we are going to be looking at the top 5 basically bargain stores that we have out there for the year. I was pretty excited to talk about this topic this year. Again, just so many places. Now, there are some rules for this that I'd like to put out there right away, okay? We'll talk about them momentarily so people kind of know where I'm coming from. Because people are very passionate on the YouTube, on the internet, right? Here on the intraweb, if you will. They get very passionate about their opinions. And I'm just going to share my opinions tonight and what I base them on. But I want to hear other people's opinions as well. Let me know in the comments, either here or after the video, if you're catch us on the playback. Let me know what your top store, bargain store in particular, was for 2023. Maybe what your best find was, and the thing you just didn't find. I know there's several things on my list. I found most of the stuff, at least saw it, didn't buy everything, but I saw most of the things I wanted to see as I went on my hunts. But there's still some things just got away. All right, Abe and his white whale. L Vampiro, what's going on? I hope mine on the West Coast raw stores get some stuff in. They were 99% bare. Yeah, man, that's a lot of them. I think they honestly packed up. I think they packed up for the holiday. That stuff did not all sell out. That's not the case. It looks like they make a choice to pack it all up, and whether they donate it, garbage it, put it in storage for next year, I don't know if they do. Lucas says I was only able to find 2 starting lineups: the Buck and the guy in the red outfit. What's going on? Who we have in the chat here before getting into this? Shatman 1982. What's going on, man? I'm hoping that I can get a spiral in those Sentinels. I found 1 Sentinel, man. All the Rosses and all the times I went there, I got 1 Sentinel. Thankfully, NJ Tree hooking me up with a couple more, which I was excited about. Fourth says Ripper, hell yeah, great figure. Then again, I love the Dreadnoks. Yeah, I was holding off getting the rest of the Dreadnoks. I didn't want to like have another whole shelf, basically. Not that there's that many of them, but I remember seeing on Target had who was it for $9.99? The blonde-haired dude. So I got that. That's on back order. I'll get it in January. So I'm like, all right, if I got him, I guess I'm stacking them all up on my shelf. Lucas says Ross for me, and the majority of my Ross gets were via collecting Havoc. So, all right, guys, let's get into the rules here. All right, these are the rules that I've set for this. Basically, I guess I call it a ranking video. I was going to do one of those S tier, F tier things, and I was like, there's 5 of them. I'm not getting into that. So I made my very professional PowerPoint here instead. All right, so here are the rules that to show you kind of how I am doing this. Okay, so my 4 rules that I'm utilizing for this particular ranking video, if you will. What are the rules? If you're a Sunny Philadelphia fan, let me know if you get this reference in this picture. Okay, I love Sunny in Philadelphia. Okay, keep it on the tracks, right? Disavowed. All right, this is for fun. Just chill. Okay, as I said, people get so passionate about their opinions, and I get it. There's gonna be people that are gonna be commenting, saying how wrong I am, how I rank these. Make your own ranking. That's the most fun part. Let me know in the comments. You know, this is like practice for my top 10 action figure video when people trash my opinions there. Okay, so we're all entitled to an opinion. You have yours, I have mine. I'll justify mine as best I can, and then let me know in the comments what your opinions are regarding how this all played out this year in 2023 at the bargain stores. Number 2. I'm factoring in my experiences and what I've seen online. Okay, so obviously, I've told you before, I am in Pennsylvania in the Northeast. I've not been to any Rosses other than one in New Jersey that's outside the state, and that's like literally 10 minutes outside Pennsylvania. So the crazy stuff people are finding out in California, in the Midwest, all across the country, I wasn't in all those stores. I can only go on the maybe 6 or 7 Ross stores I've been in, recently and throughout 2023. And I had to have been in the store. So a lot of people might comment later on, which is great. Let me know in the comments later on, what your favorite bargain store is. Maybe you're out west and you have a dirt cheap. I saw JB's Toy Trunk was finding some crazy stuff when he was visiting his family out at dirt cheap stores. I don't have those. A lot of you have told me in the comments over the years, you don't have Ollie's, you don't have a Ross. I had to have been in the store. Okay, so I counted the 5 bargain stores that are most common in my area. The one I excluded was the half off store. Shout out to Archie and NJ Tree, actually. I've been to that store a few times this year. However, it's not really a chain. There's only 2 of them that I know. Okay. So because it's not really a chain of stores, I didn't include it here because I think it's unfair. The majority of these stores I'll talk about are across the country for the most part, or at least across an entire coast, like across the entire East Coast. So they're a chain enough that a lot of people can get to them. It's not just including a store that only exists in one city. It's like including a comic book store for me. Love comic book stores, but it's unfair to, try to say, everybody had a chance when they didn't. Finally, for number 4, I'm factoring in the entire year. Okay. That's key here. The entire year. I'm not just factoring in the past 2 months. Okay. People have used a lot of hyperbolic statements, a lot of hyperbolic to basically, get into the Ross stuff, which I loved. I love the Ross hunts the past month or so or 2 months, but I'm looking at all of 2023. Okay. Bargain stores do exist all through 2023. They all have a different way of bringing those bargains to us through the salvage process. If you know what the salvage process is, I'll talk about it really quickly. Basically, the reason these stores can make these figures so cheap is they're buying them for like pennies on the dollar. Okay. So essentially, what's happening here is this. These stores, Ross and Ollie's, they're basically buying like pallets of stuff. They're buying the stuff that Target, Walmart, I don't know, GameStop, evidently Hasbro, Pulse maybe, the stuff they don't want anymore. They want to get rid of it. They can't sell it. It's taking up too much space. Eventually what happens is all of this stock just gets backed up somewhere in a warehouse. And eventually it costs more money to hang on to it in a warehouse than it is to just dump it and take the loss. Or again, not even a loss, probably it's not as much of an actual gain as you get for a retail figure at like a big box store. So these stores or big box stores liquidate this stuff to these other bargain stores. Big Lots is another one. I did not include them in the list. They were not top 5 worthy to me, but they buy these pallets and they buy all this stuff that essentially the other stores don't want anymore for whatever reason it might be. And it's super, super, super cheap to them to get this stuff. And they put it in their stores. And think about it. It's a good strategy because how many times did you go to Ross or Ollie's this year? Okay. You might have gone in there looking for one thing and walked out with things you didn't plan to get. It's like Target exclusives, right? Or Walmart exclusives. They try to get your feet in the store and maybe you buy other stuff while you're there in addition to those action figures. So again, that's why these stores are so varied with what they get, how much they get, but they're still making a profit because they probably bought that action figure for like, I don't know. I'm making this number up, 25 cents. I don't know. When you scale it out to what was on that pallet that they actually put a bid on to get. So if you didn't know that, that's kind of just a very simplistic version of what this process is, this salvage process to get stuff in these bargain stores. A lot of people seem not to know that I've spoken with, and they're kind of surprised to hear how it works. So I thought I'd share it. All right. So with that intro out of the way, we're 12 minutes in already. I promise I'm not going to go more than like 45 minutes to an hour here. Let's bounce right into this. So my number 5 store. So I ranked 5 stores. If you watch my toy hunts, you probably know which 5 they are. First one at number 5 is Marshall's. Okay. What you're going to notice is this. Throughout this slideshow and this discussion, the slides that are numbered are going to have more and more pictures on them because, frankly, those stores probably have more and more in them than the others do. Jerry added a comment in. Jerry had said that Big Lots done. Last great sale they had was He-Man, She-Ra classic figures in 2013. Yeah, and plus they're charging like almost full price for some stuff. Hey, AZ Toy Hunter. This guy knows what goes on, man. He is holding it down in Arizona with these toy hunts. You got me chasing that Ken all over the place, man, for Street Fighter. I screenshotted your barcode, or as Yojo Jerk would say, the barcode. So yeah, I'm chasing that because of you, man. So I appreciate it. But yeah, so Marshall's out of the 5 I'm ranking tonight. I'm going to say it's the worst out of the 5, right? Reason being, all I've really found at Marshall's that was something I collect, and not even something I collect, something I wanted to dabble in, were the starting lineup Hasbro figures that were like super expensive originally on Hasbro Pulse. Then they just started showing up at Marshall's and other stores as well, which we'll get into. There is a lot of carryover here. So a lot of these stores do have similar stock, but it's a matter of how much of it they get, how often they get it restocked or sent to them, and also how often they actually stock it on the floor of their stores. Every store is different. I've heard Ross might stock 3 times a day. Who knows? Marshall's once a day. So again, not all these stores are created equal, even if it's the same franchise. So really, Marshall's coming at number 5 to me. I really felt like that was the only thing that was there that I cared about. There were some random pops. Again, I'm not factoring in like other toys for kids, like other good buys for parents for their children, which is awesome. You can go there and hopefully save some money in a bad economy. I wasn't there for that purpose. So again, there's Squishmallows and plushies, and we're not ranking all of the things they had, all the merchandise in these stores, just the collectible items that I tend to gravitate towards, and you might gravitate towards as well. So it's very cool seeing these. I saw these down to literally $4.99 for some reason in one store. The only problem was they were regional. So East Coast pretty much got Giannis, whatever his name is, a little bit of the 76ers with Embiid. I found a couple of him one time. But again, you got to factor in like resellers and stuff like that too. But again, as far as Marshall's goes, number 5, bottom of the list. It was worth checking once in a while if you're chasing those starting lineup figures. But again, overall, It just didn't seem to be a place I gravitated towards too often. And again, seeing other toy hunter videos like AZ Toy Hunters Guild and things like that, I didn't see a lot of people finding me crazy at Marshall's. Let me know in the comments as well if there's something crazy I didn't know about that landed in one of these stores. We can't list it all, but again, we'll try to talk about most of it. Ross was the MVP for me. The other one I was super pumped to get was the Hammond Collection Treks for $13. And those $20 Super 7 figures from Bet. Yeah, I didn't put online retailers in, but yeah, Big Bad Toy Store just did some mass clearancing on Super 7. I picked up some of the Disney figures that I wanted in my collection. They didn't want to pay full price for. Hey, Chad, what goes on, man? Thanks for stopping by, Chad. Good to see you here. James, a.k.a. Ratface Reviews. What's going on, sir? How you doing, man? Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. It's appreciated. Who else we have coming down here? Hello. Hey, man, I subscribed recently. Hey, what goes on? How you doing, man? Thank you for being here. I appreciate the subscription. I appreciate you being here for the first live stream I'm assuming you came to that I'm doing. And we just kind of hang out here. I'm kind of low tech. I'm an old guy. I just kind of relax and hang out. And it's like to talk and basically, just rap about toys, basically. So thank you for being here. It's much appreciated. All right. Martin, what's going on, Martin? How you doing? He said, never found the G.I. Joe Viper. Oh, we're going to talk about that. Don't worry. I mentioned those white whales earlier on, right? What you're chasing down. That's probably my white whale right there. The man collects is here. Great toy hunts over on his channel. What goes on? Give him a sub. What's up, everyone? I got to give the nod to Ross. Too many great legend scores. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Again, if you just joined, just so you're aware, thank you. I appreciate you watching those videos. Means a lot. So we are factoring in all of 2023 here. Okay, it's not just the last 2 months. If it was just the last 2 months, Ross, I think, is probably everybody's clear number one. We're looking at the entire year. Okay, all of 2023, things I've seen in stores along the way. All right, so moving on from number 5, here's number 4. TJ Maxx. Okay, so if you didn't know this, TJ Maxx and Marshalls are sister stores. I think they're owned by the same corporation or company. So they do tend to get a lot of the same stuff in. Although I've noticed that TJ Maxx did have some things in that were not in other places, specifically Marshalls. So they also had the Hasbro starting lineup figures in. Again, I've only seen Giannis. I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name. I don't watch sports as much as I used to. I didn't see any other of them there. People are finding LeBron James. People are finding other characters, other athletes. Not me. Now, one thing I noticed about TJ Maxx was they got some crazy WWE figures in that my good friend Six Packs and Knickknacks was chasing around. One magical day, they turned up and had, I think it was this 3-pack with Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, and then Brock Lesnar in his farmer outfit. I never saw that personally in a store, but evidently it was showing up there. I did see the Roman Reigns. I think it's Top Picks, which I believe would be salvage coming over from Walmart. Okay, so I think those are Walmart exclusives. Let me know if I'm wrong. But I think that the Top Picks mostly are usually Walmart. I think there might be a Target as well. But I saw stacks and stacks of those. Closer to the season came for Christmas, people bought them all up. Kids, of course, a lot of people watch wrestling. I watch wrestling. I'll be watching AEW in about, an hour. But a lot of people were chasing those wrestling figures at TJ Maxx. But again, TJ Maxx and Marshalls, if you see something in one store, you might see it in the other, as they are pretty much owned by the same company, from what I understand, with how that is set up. Jerry added, I think that Marshalls did better than TJ Maxx in my area. Never saw anything special there. Yeah, I only ranked TJ Maxx slightly ahead of Marshalls because they had the same thing with the starting lineups and then the wrestling figures. And I didn't see anything besides starting lineup. So again, it could be different. It's regional. Somebody beat me there before I got there, that sort of thing. Yeah, you know what, Lucas? I saw that as well. There was a Batman remote-controlled back car, I believe, Batmobile from Marshalls. I didn't think to include that. I was thinking more like figures. But again, there were a lot of other great things there that I just may not have gravitated towards. That's why I'm glad we're all sharing that together. All right, so that is number 4. Now we're getting into the good stuff. Now we're getting in to the interesting topics here, because now it can get a little bit harder to rank these. Moving on from number 4, as far as best bargain stores of 2023, here's my number 3, Burlington. Now, again, I don't think Burlington's across the entire country. It might be. I can't recall. I know people have told me they found it in other states as well. So Burlington's a tricky one. They had stuff throughout the year. So the reason they're a little higher up here at number 3, and the reason they pushed out Marshalls, the reason they pushed out TJ Maxx, is Burlington, I found really good stuff throughout 2023. Not all the time, but I found entire waves of AEW figures randomly. I do have it here in the thumbnail. that they had in the Chris Statlander, Orange Cassidy, Best Friends, John Moxley wave. There was a Chris Jericho there that I saw. More recently, they had Transformers Reds popping up. The cool thing here, the other reason I put them at number 3 ahead of the other 2 stores was because they had Build-A-Figure waves, but they had Target exclusives and Walmart exclusives. So if you take a look at that Cody with the red pants, that's the Walmart exclusive version. I know it's weird for Walmart to have a red exclusive. Usually they're blue. However, that was a Walmart exclusive LJN AEW figure that popped up at Burlington. So the fact that they got exclusives in, I ticked them up a little bit higher. And they had them fairly consistently. Like, it wasn't like I saw one. I'd go into to be more than there. Same thing with the Roadblock. We all think back to those years trying to chase down those Cobra Island Judge of Classified figures at Target. Roadblock was another hard one to find back then. Then they all got reissued online, and they all leveled off on price and availability. However, the fact that they got figures in throughout the year that were collectibles, the fact that they got in again Build-A-Figure waves, that's a big thing for me as I'm a Legends collector, as you know. And the fact that they got those exclusives in, the exclusives are what ticked them up to number 3 for me. That I felt like that was something awfully interesting that I saw there that I kind of ran into. Let's see here. For Burlington, I found the whole controller wave in my zone. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I have the picture there. Now that controller wave, again, as we said, there'll be some crossover, some crossing of the streams, if you will, if you're a Hasbro Ghostbusters fan. Basically, it looked like a lot of the Build-A-Figure waves that were showing up. Some of them were universal to other bargain stores. Some were not. And that'll get to my choices I made a little bit later on as we kind of work our way through. AZ Twinners Guild said Burlington was trash. Yeah, well, you know what? This is the thing, man. A lot of that stuff that went to Burlington other years must have got bid on by like the other stores. So again, whether it was Ollie's getting stuff super early, way before the holiday season hit. You guys, if you watch my channels, you'll understand that it was the year of Ollie's to me in a lot of ways. It was the fall, the summer of Ollie's, the autumn of Ollie's, a little bit of winter of Ollie's, tailed off in the end. But again, they probably lost out on bids for the salvage material that ended up in these other stores. There's only so much of it to go around once they start putting it out there for the bargain stores to buy. Lucas got a couple of Quakes from Burlington. Yes, Quake was one a lot of people were chasing. I remember seeing a lot at Ollie's. I saw one, I think, at Burlington. I did see them in other stores, which is cool. Very awesome that was an army builder people can go out and get, especially with that Shield Hydra 2-pack that I'll be talking about later on in my Marvel Legends top 10 video later on. Not tonight, in the future. Brian King says, I was looking for the 1/18th A10 from the Army Toys at TJ Maxx. Yeah, and that's the sort of stuff, too, that was popping up there. Toyners Guild said people were finding Captain America at Burlington. I think I saw, just today I saw U.S. Agent there. Literally just today it was still there. They've consolidated the entire section to one shelf, but it was there. Hopefully these glory days of discount stores never end. That's a topic for another day, Lucas. It very well could be. It could be ending. I feel like there's no way that these companies are going to keep putting this much out there. People like me and all of us talking long game. Eventually, I think they're going to say, like, we're backing off production here. I know nothing. I'm just a guy that talks about toys. I don't have any information on that. Just based on trends, I feel like eventually they're going to say, we're cutting this back because we're not going to keep salvaging so much out because people are going to wait because they know it might be there later on. I like doing it. Not saying you shouldn't. Just saying it's a fact that's out there. The Man Collect says, I had some luck at Burlington. I found the entire controller wave. Yeah, and Bonebreaker is another one too, man. Yeah, Bonebreaker was huge. Bonebreaker, I saw at Ollie's and also showed up in almost the entire wave that I've seen at Ross. To get that friggin' Build-A-Figure Bonebreaker at that price is friggin' amazing. Like, I got it early on because I really wanted it, so I paid full price. But yeah, I agree with Ollie's. They did amazing this year. Yeah, Ollie's was next level. We'll talk more about it as we go. In my Ollie's, I saw this anniversary Marvel Legends at $9.99. Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. So yeah, my number 3 was Burlington. Now this is where the discussion starts. Okay, this is where disagreements will happen, folks. If you're watching this on the playback and you disagree, feel free to let me know in the comments. People who are here, again, this is what we're going to debate. This is the big one right now. When I click this button, and a lot of you probably know what I picked at number 1. But first, let's take a look at number 2. Ollie's and Ross were the S this year, man. A sea of Disavowed toys. There were a lot. All right, here it is. This is where the discussion starts. My number 2 bargain store for toy hunting 2023, Ross. This is the big one, right? Okay, recency bias. This is for the whole year. This is where it gets tricky. Recency bias is a thing. It basically means that you remember the more recent things, right? Or you focus on the more recent things. I'm very much a victim of that. I do it to myself. I get worried every year when I do my top 10 videos for my figures. Is that am I still psyched about that new flashy plastic that I just got? So much so that I prioritize that as something else I like earlier in the year. You got to watch out for it. So this was all of 2020, as I mentioned like 10 times already. I feel that Ollie's for the whole year of 2020, if you look at it from an entire year's perspective, had better finds, deals, and consistency in their restocking than Ross did. Okay. Ross, again, we'll talk about Ross at Ross. We're talking about Ross now. We'll talk more about Ollie's at number one. But the thing with Ross was it wasn't as consistent. It wasn't here the entire year. It exploded in a glorious just mound of plastic for all of us in November and December. But really, until we got to the holiday season, it wasn't as big of a thing. You know, I wasn't going to Ross in quarter one, quarter two, and quarter three of the year. I went there for Q4 for the holidays and cleaned up like everybody else did. Their prices were a little bit cheaper in some situations than Ollie's were. But again, it's the consistency thing to me. That's the thing for me, is the consistency thing. Hey, Kiwi, what's going on, man? How you doing, sir? Thank you for stopping by. Always appreciate getting to talk to you. Ross had a huge quarter four, but Ollie's killed most of the year. And that's where thank you. And that's where my argument comes from. And again, Ross had some amazing, and the thing I'll give Ross is probably more than Ollie's. Ross had a lot more of a variety. I feel like that Ollie's hit all like all the big cuts, right? The Marvel Legends. It obviously hit again the Star Wars Black. I'm going to talk more about Ollie's later. But Ross, although they had a lot of the same stuff, it was not as consistent. And again, it was not throughout the year. That's why I bumped it to number two. But the stuff they had, oh my gosh, that Sentinel, I'm an X-Men fan. I was chasing it, found one unpunched, thankfully. NJ Tree, my buddy, hooking me up, I think, with two other ones. My friend Pat found one that I then gifted to my buddy Jay Girk, the collector, for Christmas. But the prop replicas, the Zed helmet, the Thor hammer, the Black Panther helmet, at those prices, $30 and less. Now, there are also props that obviously popped up over at Ollie's, and we'll talk about that. But the large ticket items, and of course, we got to talk about it, the Viper 3-pack. Never saw it. I never saw it. I'm not in a position where I can go to Ross, during the day when they're restocking things during the week, only on a weekend. So again, for those of you who are able to go every day at the same time, and you got to know, the people's names who work there, and, maybe they told you when they stock. Good for you. You did your due diligence. Patience, persistence, politeness, right? My big three. So good on you. I have no resentment towards people who found them, or multiple ones. I just wish I would have found them too. Okay. I mentioned multiple man, the retro carded freaking X-Men wave. I only found two. I found Longshot and I found multiple man. I found none of the other ones. Would have loved to, because I already had Longshot and I opened it. Okay. But did not find any of the other ones. And the lightsabers shown up at Ross, right? The lightsabers we found up in Wilkes-Barre, one of the hunts that we had. So again, just amazing stuff. Obviously statues of anime things I don't watch that people are probably into. So much stuff. Again, it's just a matter of, could you get there first and get your hands on it, right? Hey, Yo Joe Jerk, what's going on? Another toy review. How you doing, man? Really enjoyed your His Tank review, sir. I haven't watched many, and I was waiting to watch yours, and I really enjoyed it. Not enough that I regret not getting it, thankfully. Because I thought I'd be like hating myself right now that I didn't get it. That'll be when the helicopter shifts, the Dragonfly, right? That's when I'll hate myself. Yeah, never saw that for sure. But again, just so many limited Marvel 3 3/4. We'll talk more about that with Ollie's. However, a lot of that was there. A lot of Mcfarlane, a lot of cheap Mcfarlane. If you're somebody that collects Mcfarlane toys, like my buddy Pack Photos, they had The Witcher, they had DC Multiverse, The Demon, and they had all Mcfarlane toys, not just DC Multiverse, for like $4.99. G.I. Joe Classified, they also did get some of the Stalker in. We all know number 44, G.I. Joe Classified, Tomax. If you've been going to these Rosses, he was stacked freaking everywhere. So again, they had G.I. Joe Classified, but I don't think they had it to the same level as what our number one's going to be. So again, if you're watching this on the playback or you're watching it live, I can't physically take enough time to list every single thing myself and everybody else found in their hunts at Ross. I know it was an insane amount of stuff. But my argument here again is, despite that crescendo at the end of the year in Q4, especially in the holiday season where we're all trying to do some Christmas shopping and, buy some stuff for ourselves cheap for our collections, I just cannot justify putting Ross at number one. I don't think that the spike at the end of the year outdid what number one did throughout the course of the entire year. All right, gang, we're moving on to number one. There's so much stuff otherwise we found at Ross. I get it. I do love my Ross hunts, but here it is. Number one with a bullet. It was, first of all, the summer. Then it was the autumn. Then it was the winter. And it died off a little bit. It was a not a lot of snow in the winter here in Pennsylvania. Not a lot of toys in the winter of Ollies. However, Ollies, good stuff, cheap. Again, the disclaimer, people are watching this later on, feel free to comment. Let me know what your top 5 ranking was out of these 5 stores. Let me know the stores that are in your region, your part of the country. However, again, when it comes to this, I know that not everybody has an Ollies. It pained me sometimes to do these toy hunts because people would reach out and they would say like, hey, can you help me out? Or, hey, it sucks, I don't have one in my town. I get it. I get it. I apologize to people. I get a lot of requests, so I couldn't just, keep buying stuff for people. People who are local that I see in person, I tend to help out more often if I see them at a toy show or if I see them as a daily thing in my travels. But unfortunately, again, my heart goes out to the people who don't have these stores. I get it. Canada, I hear you, Canada. Oh, Canada, I hear you. I hear you, Canada. I see you. Again, I know it sucks up there. And it's not just that. I think it was somebody sent me a video the other day that was showing like other things that Canada doesn't have when it comes to stores. We're lucky in the States. I get it. When it comes to shopping, we're fortunate. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, Ollie's to me had to be number one. Again, if you watch my toy hunts, if you don't, feel free to go back and watch them. Ollie's, if I found a lot of stuff, was always in the thumbnail, letting people know, where I was finding it and how often I was finding it, of course, as well. Trying to do my best to let people know. Oh, and real quick, the Ross also had the VHS at Marvel Legends, which is nuts. The fact that they got those exclusives there that were, I think, only Disney Store has Repulse. So again, Ross, the VHS things were crazy. I picked up, a couple of those there. But yeah, Ollie's. Okay, so first of all, just the big props they got in, right? So the big props that they had, never saw it. This is my second white whale after that Viper 3-pack, was the Captain America shield. Closest I got, I took a drive up to the Poconos, and that area, a little further away from my section, the Poconos in Pennsylvania. And somebody told me the night before they had the shields. I got there, they laughed at me. They said, nope, we don't have them anymore. So I never saw the shield, but I did find six or eight, I believe, of the Trapper Wolf helmets, which I did hook up my good friend with as a Christmas gift. He was blown away, didn't know what to say. Doesn't really do toy hunting. All he knew was what they were worth originally. So I was really happy to hook him up. I split that with my buddy at work, and we gave that to him as a gift. So the Trapper Wolf helmets, I know they were hard to find as well, but I just hit it right and found them in one day. G.I. Joe Classified. They had Zorana. They had Dusty. They had the Crimson Officer. These are all figures I passed on. I had one Viper, or I had one, officer. I had one officer. All the rest of them, I passed on Zorana. I passed on Dusty last year. Got him for $4.99, $5.99. Marvel Legends and Star Wars Black Series. Here's the thing. If you were just getting the collecting, you could pretty much go to Ollie's for almost 4 or 5 months out of this year and build an entire collection of figures of like main key characters of Star Wars Black Series. I didn't put them all on here. I just put the archive wave up there because the archive wave was crazy that they were showing up there. However, simply with Marvel Legends, you can go there and for a good 3 months, complete possibly 3 Build-A-Figures, super cheap. So if you were just getting into the collecting and you just wanted to get your foot in the door and see what it was like, perfect way to do it. Also, again, shopping for kids, shopping for family, shopping for friends. That was clutch. I Christmas shop year round. If you don't, I suggest you do it because, again, Christmas shopping year round, if you have friends that collect and you see a great buy, you grab it. You grab it. GameStop clearance is great for that. I've bought stuff all times of the year. They give the friends, $50 statues for $10. You stash them in your attic and remember don't be Clark Griswold and forget they're there, people. Go find them. But yeah, again, Christmas shopping was huge. The Marvel Legends 3 3/4 got me. They consistently had the Marvel Legends 3 3/4 figures in. I want to build the wall of them. If you look up behind me, here you go, up here, right? Let me jump over it real quick here. So back behind me here on above, I only have 5 or 4 of them up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I only have 4 of them up, 5. Sorry, 5. I can't count. There's 5 of them up there. I probably have like 12 more that I bought super cheap. A lot of them at Ollie's. Then they also had them at Ross as well. So again, the fact that those were showing up like that was huge. You could build an entire collection on the cheap. The Black Panther, they had the Build-A-Figure wave for that. We were talking about the Build-A-Figure controller wave. You could army build the Quakes as shield agents. And I'm seeing a lot of great comments right now. I definitely want to throw up here onto the screen. Ollie's executed order 66. They did, but the thing is, they have 33% off right now. There's still a lot of good figures there. So people who waited even longer to get into the hobby, you can go there and probably buy 12 to 15 Black Series figures for like $7.99, including deluxe figures, for 33% off that price. It's nuts. Same thing with the build figures. Now it's pretty cleared out. Chad, the Fortnite Snake Eyes. Exactly. Somebody put the boat. Yeah, the Fortnite boat. I gifted a boat to both of my nephews. One hangs out near a lake in the summertime. One hangs out near their swimming pool in the summertime. They're going to take their boat out in the water. The boats were insane. And they got restock of the boats. It wasn't a one-time thing. You can get them for a pretty long time. So is Ross longer getting anything? Ross seems to be done, Richie. Again, some people are still finding bits and pieces. They packed them up in all my local stores. They packed up everything I got and packed it away, donated it. I don't know, but they're not there anymore. You can build the collection on the cheap. Yeah, and that's it for feathers. People who wanted to dip a toe. Every single day, there are people just getting into this hobby, who are just getting involved in this hobby, who want to go back and backtrack and get things. These stores are great for backtracking and getting things you may not have had the first time around, or that you're trying to get, again, for the first time as well. Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter. I mean, I could have filled up all these cards for Ross and Ollie's in particular. The Sergeant Slaughter was ridiculous. Excuse me 1 second, please, here. The Sergeant Slaughter at Ollie's was freaking nuts. Again, that was a fan channel exclusive, and it shows up there. That was an insane one to see. So yeah, so much stuff popping up. It's ridiculous. Sorry about that. It was nuts. And again, I bought so much stuff at Ollie's, probably more than I should have. The one thing you got to remember, too, is when you go into these stores, sometimes you got to leave stuff behind. I left so much stuff behind at Ross. I could have had and again, we're on Ollie's now, but I could have had the entire Universal Monsters wave. I passed on it. Just picked up one for my girlfriend that she wanted, and one for her friend, her relative, as a gift. So yeah, it was just nuts. Ollie's, I feel like, was consistent. It was proven throughout the year. Yes, it died off the end of the year, but that was their strategy. Get stuff early, get it out there. I think they actually might have known more. They probably didn't do this on purpose, but I feel like they may have known even more about how the collecting community works, because they knew there was a model to sell this stuff year round. They didn't just wait to put it out in November and December. They were making money year round, and then people still were going there. And again, remember that in December, us as collectors were finding a lot of these things that we saw, and we stopped going to Ollie's. There were grandparents, aunts, uncles, parents going into Ollie's going, wow, a 20% off Captain America figure. They see Marvel and they just get it. They're like, oh, Marvel. My grandson or nephew or son will love this. So again, they continued making money, which this isn't so much here to focus on that, but they had a really good strategy, I feel like. Whereas Ross, it was like boom, 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 get it in, get it over. So yeah, just a lot of ways of looking at it. I want to know your thoughts on it down in the comments afterwards, or again, here in the chat. We're getting ready to tie it up pretty soon here. Let's kind of do some updates of future things coming out. But this idea just kind of came to me today as I was basically, Ross line. There was like an equation, right? It was like, I'm making this up right now, but there had to be an equation where it was like figure in hand greater than or equal to Ross line greater than equal to, I'm not a math person, I do words, time you're going to have to wait. Like some sort of equation that you had to do in your head, okay? Where you were like, okay, is this worth waiting in a 45-minute line? To get a $4.99 Marvel Legend in your army building, I found Quake for $4.99 at a Ross. The line had to be at least a half an hour long, and I just did the math in my head. I'm like, nope, I got like 6 of her already, plus the army builders that came in the 2-pack. I'm not doing it. Put it on the shelf, let the next guy get it. So, yeah, it was, you had to do that math in your head because those lines were absolutely nuts. Let's see here. I just saw a question I wanted to highlight. There it is. Lucas said, how do you leave stuff behind? Normally when I'm out on a toy hunt, I'm on a super strict time schedule. Like I'm busting it. I got to get home for something or to be somewhere else, unfortunately. And that's all of us. We're all busy. I'm not trying to say I'm more busy than other people. We're all busy. We all have busy lives. But typically in my brain, as I do my toy hunt videos, I have it figured out. Like I'm budgeting my time. I'm going to go here, here, and here. You know, it's rare I just kind of go somewhere for an entire day and just go toy hunt. I usually have some sort of objective in mind. So unless it's something that's crazy awesome, like if I would have found that Viper 3-pack at Ross, or the Captain America shield at Ollie's, although Ollie's lines aren't that bad, I would have gotten it. You know, I would have waited in that line to get that. But again, it had to depend on what it was. Yo, Joe Jerk says, you're the YouTube king of Ollies. Thank you, sir. And I still have your boat. I still have your boat, man. And again, that's an example. I was talking to Yo Joe Jerk about this the other week. A lot of times, you know, 10, 15 minutes one direction than the other, and I can't get back to where I need to be. So like it gets even harder to kind of meet up and see people. But again, it's also important to do that because we're all friends, right? We want to see each other too. So I got to slow things down and be better at that as well. I'm learning as I go, just like you people are, right? We all are. Yeah, let's see here. Forfeither says, yeah, those lines and only one or two cashiers open. Yeah, that's the frustrating part, right? Where you see so many there. Yo, Joe Jerk being right. That's right. Chad just added as well. I'm expecting the Snake Eyes and Timber 2-pack to hit Ollies. Yeah, man. Next year, we should do a video on that, right? Next year, top 10 things that are going to show up at Ollies. That's going to be from Walmart. It's going to be, Scrap Iron. Those are stacked at Walmarts right now. Snake Eyes 2-pack with Timber, stacked at my local Walmarts. Again, maybe not everywhere, but enough that I've seen across the state. Yeah, good call. A lot of that stuff. We may have to do that. What's more likely to show up next year and see that? Stay single, my friends. I'm not gonna repeat that because my girlfriend might hear it and slap me later on. And she got me some great Christmas gifts this year, so I wouldn't want to say that with her here. Hide them, hide them figs until after the holiday. You know, I have noticed, I have been known to flip a panel or two at Target, and I think they've gotten wise because it's been a lot less stuff. I don't do it every time. I have rules. I only do it when there's not kids around and, you know, whatever. But yeah, I feel like Target is cracked down. They might have started having their employees look under the panels. So you got to be more crafty anymore than the old flipperoonie, right? So again, those are my top 5. Just really quickly going back through here. Number 1 was Ollie's. Number 2 was, of course, Ross. That could have been a 1A and a 1B, but there's only 5 stores here. I don't want to get into 1A and 1Bs. All of those sorts of cheats in my top 10 videos coming up pretty soon here on YouTube. Burlington at number 3, TJ Maxx at number 4, and then Marshall's finally at number 5. So again, what an amazing, amazing year when it came down to doing some toy hunts at these bargain stores. The stuff we were able to find was freaking insane. I still can't believe some of it that was showing up at these stores right here. I hope you took advantage of it. There were days where, you know, like all of us, we all have jobs, we're all tired. I'd get out of work and be like, I just want to go home. I want to go home. It's gotten cold, whatever. And I go, no. I've said it in some of my toy videos. No, I'm not going to go home. I'm going to go to Ross because this will be over. It's going to be over soon. And now it's pretty much over. People will still find some diamonds in the rough out there, but it's not going to be like this for a long time ever again, you know, at least until another holiday season. So had to get out there, had to take advantage. Oh, the Neca Toonie Tears at Ross. I got to add that in. Stupid overpriced. What's going on? $11.99, I think, for the Toonie Tears. I love Toonie Tears. I have Beetlejuice back here. I have Elvira on card. I have Ash from Evil Dead, or actually Army Darkness, whatever it is. Love that little scale. I put them with my Disney Toy Box figures, but $11.99 was not much of a deal for Toonie Tears, and they all showed up the week of Christmas. I saw the more of the Ash Evil Dead. I saw Elvira. I saw the Vampira. Help me out here. I saw the the Alien movie, the Roddy Piper. Help me out, folks. They Live. They had the They Live Reporter. I just couldn't justify $11.99. Even the Jada figures for $8.99. They were $4.99. I probably would have bought them all. You know, $8.99 when you're in Ross and you're seeing things cheaper. It's like, oh God, you know. But anyways, please let me know in the comments afterwards, everybody. What was the craziest thing you found? What was the craziest thing you didn't find that you wish you would have found? Also, in terms of that, again, feel free to let me know afterwards. Rank these. I know you took your time to be here. I really appreciate it. I know we're all busy, especially the holiday season, New Year's coming up. But just take that minute, if you don't mind, in the comments afterwards and rank your top 5 bargain stores. Or if you're out west, you're in the Midwest, let me know what bargain stores you go to that I don't even know about because we don't have them here in Pennsylvania. All right, so real quick, upcoming information here on the channel. Top 10 videos will be coming in the next 2 weeks. It'll be G.I. Joe Classified. It'll be, and this is where I kind of do a little different. In the past, I've split up Marvel Legends. I like doing all Marvel Legends in the top 10 because a Build-A-Figure compared to a deluxe figure compared to a multi-pack isn't the most fair thing to do in my estimation. So I will have a top 10 video for essentially single-carded Marvel Legends that kind of just came by themselves. Then I'll also have a top 10 for Marvel Legends of deluxe Build-A-Figures deluxe figures. And in addition to the deluxe figures, it'll also be multi-packs. So I slid the multi-pack over into that category this year. It also allows me to talk more about Legends, which I really am passionate about. And then top 10 overall action figures of the year will also be posted here on the channel. We'll also be discussing that on the Infinity Equation podcast. You might be watching this right now thinking to yourself, wow, that's what you look like? You're an old dude. I thought you were younger. You don't look like your voice, whatever. I don't go face on camera for toying videos because I just don't. I rarely do it. I have my reasons for that. But I am on live streams fairly consistently over on the Infinity Equation podcast. Dark Joker's in, runs a great show. I love being there. I've been a fan. Now I'm a host. So again, me being on camera is not that rare of a thing. It's just that I don't do it on my own channel that often, or as often as at least I used to for live streams like this. So top 10 videos are coming. One more toy hunt will be out before New Year's Eve. So probably Friday night. So tomorrow's Thursday, or yeah, probably Friday night, one more 2023 toy hunt. We'll put a bow on it. I might toy hunt off camera. That'll be the last toy hunt video of 2023. And then resets are coming. Walmart, Target, probably GameStop. All the resets are coming at those stores of all the new Q1 figures. You've seen Dan Hu doing great reviews over there across the pond. Already has in the Void Wave. Here has a bunch of the Spider-Man things that I haven't hit yet here. New G.I. Joe Classifier shipping. I'm getting Mutt and Junkyard tomorrow, I think. So you might get a review, one more review before the year's over. And there's that big purple space guy, Galactus, over my shoulder that I said I would open. When people started doing his tank reviews, they started. I know I got to open Galactus. I made a promise. It's just about getting myself over the anxiety and doing it. So I will get to that as well. But again, this was a consistent, steady stream of people here tonight, which is awesome. I appreciate your time. I know you're all busy with your lives. So you coming here and hanging out means a lot to me. People who catch us on the playback, I appreciate that as well. Because again, I'm going live relatively early here on the East Coast. So if you're on the West Coast, it was like 3 o'clock or something, or 4 o'clock when I started. So again, if you're watching this on playback, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time and for taking the time to put that stuff down there in the comments. I know, yo, Joe Jerk, Brian, I got to do it, man. I promise to, and I like breaking promises. All right. All right, everybody. So thank you so much for watching. If you're new, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's free for you. It does not cost you anything. And it helps us grow the channel tremendous in March to 6,000 subscribers. Thank you to everybody who helped me hit 5,000 this year. Never expected to get that many subs. We're on the road to 6,000 now, going into 2024. I like to set dates, but who knows? Memorial Day? Say Memorial Day, maybe end of the summer, right? Labor Day, yeah, Labor Day is the end. So maybe by Labor Day, right? We'll see. Hit 6,000 potentially. I appreciate that. Also, if you don't mind, go ahead and click that bell for notifications. That way YouTube actually notifies you and tells you when we post new content here to the channel, like our weekly toy hunts, reviews, and live streams. Leave a comment down below. Hit that like button. And for daily toy content and daily toy updates, try checking us out over at Instagram and Twitter at disavowed_12. Hey, everybody. If you're going toy hunting this week, please try to remember the 3 Ps of the toy hunt: patience, persistence, most of all, politeness. Take care. Stay healthy. Please have a safe and happy New Year's. Have a DD if you're going out. And I'll be seeing all of you at the Pigs. Thank you for a great 2023. Bye, guys and gals.